So this is your factoring unit test review. So biggest thing is that when you rewrite it in standard form, it'll tell you if it opens up or down. But really, you got this cool tool as a calculator. So if you wanted to, you could just start off by just typing that stuff in. So x plus 1 times x minus 5 plus 1. And when you graph it, it's going to be, in this case, it's going to be a U shape, okay? So therefore, it's opening up. And since it's opening up, we know it's like a valley, so it has a mid. So that's going to be answer choice A. If you want to do it by hand, you would have to make a window and do x plus 1, x minus 5, multiply it out, and you would have x squared plus 1x minus 5x minus 5. However, there was also a plus 1 in the problem. So when you combine like terms, you're going to be with y equals x squared minus 4x minus 4. So when I'm looking at this, I know that the leading coefficient is 1. It's positive, so it's opening up. However, it's a whole lot easier to type in your calculator. Okay, this equation is the same one on number 3, so we're going to skip to number 3. Looking at number 3, when it's asking the y-intercept, that's where it's crossing the y-axis. It looks like it's at 0, -4. If you press trace, 0, enter, it will go directly to the y-intercept, which is in fact at 0, -4. Okay, so when you're looking at this, remember standard form also gives you that y-intercept by looking at -4. However, you can make a mistake. Why would you not just go ahead and use your calculator since it's 3 buttons, trace, 0, enter. It just makes sense. Okay, the next one right here, it appears to be opening up. However, you would find that when you type it in, it's very tricky. When you graph it, it's actually opening downward because that's not in standard form. It appears to be, but it's not. Standard form is y equals the x squared term first, -3x squared. The x term next, it's positive, so it gets a plus sign, plus 5. So now that it's in standard form, the leading coefficient is negative, so it's opening down. And it's opening down means that it is like a mountain, so it has a maximum. So the option D in this case. And now that's the same problem for number 4. It's asking once again about the y-intercept. Easiest button, trace, 0, enter, and it's going to tell you the y-intercept is at 0, +5, which is right here at D. Also remember, ax squared plus bx, plus c, if it's in standard form, the c is actually the y-intercept every single time. Next one, number 5, when it's asking for the zeros, all it's saying is a fancy word for the x-intercepts. So where is it crossing the x-axis at? So looking at this factor form, it tells it to you very quickly. What would you plug in there to get a 0? You'd plug in a +1. What would you plug in there to get a 0? You plug in a -4, and that would give you those zeros. But if you were unsure, and I don't know why you wouldn't just go ahead and check in your calculator, you would type in 7 parentheses x minus 1 x plus 4 in your calculator, and it'll give you a nice pretty picture of what it looks like. And when we're looking at it, I know we can't see the whole graph, but all we care about is the x-intercept. So it's crossing at 1, 0 right there, and it's crossing at -4, 0. If you want to be sure, either look at your table, and you'll see that we scroll up to 1, 0. Hopefully it's on there. 1, 0 is on there, and -4, 0 is on there. Or you could go back to your graph and do trace -4, and it'll take you straight to that x value of -4. So you can also check that on your calculator. This one, if you're going to do it by hand, you're going to have to factor it. So you have the big X, and you have to find out what factors of 18 would give you -7, and it would be 2x and -9x. Set up your box, x squared, -18, the box gave you 2x and -9x. Factor your greatest common factor, so -9, x, and 2. So you'd be left with x plus 2 times x minus 9. That's a lot of work once again just to get those two factors. Plug a -2 in there to get 0, plug a +9 there to get 0. When really all you have to do is just type in the original equation into your calculator. X squared minus 7x minus 18. And it would also give you where it's crossing the x-axis. Looks like at -2, 0, +9, 0. If you're not sure, check in your calculator. -2, 0, +9, 0 is right there. You don't have to do all this is what I'm saying. You can literally skip to just doing it in your calculator. The intervals of increasing and decreasing, I'm going to get me a picture up because I have no idea how to even start that. X minus 1 times x minus 3. When I look at it, it's going to be opening up. And I'm going to focus on the vertex, which in this case is 2 comma negative 1. Okay? You can either do second calc or just do trace 2, and it's at 2 comma negative 1. That's what it appears to be the minimum value. Vertex is just a fancy word for max or min. So I'm looking at this. I'm reminding you that we said that you always read graphs like you read books, which is from left to right. The y value is not left to right. Instead, the x value is left to right. We don't care about the y value in this particular question. So you can automatically eliminate A and B because it focused on the y value negative 1. Remember, we read left to right, and the y value is not going to get you left to right on your graph. So now looking at it, we're going to focus on the 2 right there. And the domain always goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. So if you're looking at this from negative infinity up to positive 2, you're going to be sledding down that slope, which is same like decreasing. So from negative infinity to 2, you're sledding. From negative infinity to 2, you're sledding. From 2 to infinity, you're going to be increasing. From 2 to infinity, you're going to be increasing. See, now when we go left to right, we're going to be climbing up that mountain. Okay, number 8, same exact equation. I already have it graphed in my calculator. When it says in behavior, it's asking what's happening on the ends. Well, they're both going up. So if they're both going up, they're both going to be going to positive infinity. We're focused on this part right here. That's the only part that changes those last 2 infinity symbols. Okay, now if it was opening down, it'd be there, but this is opening up, so it's both going to positive infinity. We told you it's not going to be these two because those are opposites, okay? So they're both positive infinity or both negative infinity, but this one, it's opening up, so they're both going to be positive infinity. Tomorrow on your test, neither one of them are going to be opposite signs. They're always going in the same direction. Okay, number 9, identify the domain and range. Remember, domain is your x values, and range is your y values. So if I'm looking at this, it says domain has a y in it, I'm going to get rid of that option. Domain has a y in it, I'm going to get rid of that option. The only difference between these two are the ranges. So you get a greater than symbol or a less than symbol. This thing's opening up, so it's going to get a greater than symbol. And why that's the case, if you're at negative 4, comma, negative 5, all those y values are bigger than negative 5. See, y value of negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All those y values are bigger than negative 5. Pac-Man's going to eat the bigger y values, everything that's bigger than negative 5. Next one, in behavior, they're both opening down, so we're going to focus on that negative infinity, negative infinity. Remember, I told you they're not going to be opposites, and that would be if they were opening up, like the last example on number 8. But they're both opening down, so they're both negative infinity. It's where these y values right here, the arrows are going off to. Identify level increasing and decreasing, same thing. This vertex is 3, 5, and we read a book left to right, the x value goes left to right. So we're going to focus right here on 3. It goes from negative infinity to positive infinity. So when I see from negative infinity to positive 3, I'm going to be climbing up that mountain or increasing. Okay? And when I go from 3 to positive infinity, I'm going to be sledding or decreasing. And once again, from 3, oops, I mismarked that. From 3 to positive infinity, it's decreasing. 3 positive infinity decreasing, 3 positive infinity. Increasing from negative infinity to 3, increasing from negative infinity to 3. So it all lines up if you just set it up like this right here. Once again, we don't care about the y, so when it uses the y value, just go ahead and mark it out. It's not going to be an option, okay? Negative infinity to 3, it's increasing. Negative infinity to 3, it's increasing. 3 to infinity is decreasing. 3 to infinity is decreasing. It's in order for you if you set it up like that. Next one, we really don't care about anything except for that piece right there, okay? So I'm going to go to my y equals, and I'm going to type that in. Negative 16x squared plus 35x plus 6. And when I graph it, I have a problem. I don't see the entire graph in my calculator. I need to go up higher this way. And that's going to be going up and down to my y, and going up higher will be my y max. If I go to my window, I'm just going to change my y max to something like 40, okay? And then regraph, and it should extend what I have. And if you didn't pick big enough, then just go back and just make it bigger. We got to find the vertex, which is a fancy word for the maximum or the minimum. So I'm going to do second calc, find the maximum, which is option 4. There's the left side. Go to the right side, press enter, and I have 1.09, 25.14. So it's not going to be B, and it's not going to be C. Alright? If you were unsure if you did trace 1.22, 24 and 26 are nowhere near each other. Those are pretty too far apart. So if you forgot the second calc button, you could still cancel out those by doing trace and typing in the X value. Now if you have your graphical organizer that was given to you at the beginning of the year, it says the X is the time or when, and the Y is the height or how high it gets. So in this case, this should be seconds and this should be feet. So when I read it, I want to make sure that's what it says. The ball reached maximum height of 25.14 feet. That's good. At 1.09 seconds, that's good. Option D, the ball reached a height of 1.09 feet. Oop, that doesn't match. Okay, the feet should be the Y coordinate. The X should be the time. So we're going to get rid of that. And also, it doesn't make sense for a baseball to only reach a height of 1 foot after 25 seconds. I don't think it's going to be in the air for 25 seconds. Okay, domain, we told you that it's always going to be all real numbers except when you have a real life problem or a word problem. And this is, my friends, a word problem, so it's not going to be all real numbers. Okay, domain is my X values, while range is my Y values. So remember, from right here off our graphical organizer, X is going to be time. Feet is not going to measure time, so you're down to just a 50-50 shot, from 0 seconds to 2.35 or to 25.14. So when I'm looking at this, that baseball goes off the ground, reaches a height, and then comes back down. It looks like in between 2 and 3. Well, the number that's in between 2 and 3 is 2.35. If you want to be extra sure, second calc, find the 0, left bound, right bound, enter, and there it is as well. Don't worry about that E. It literally just means a really tiny number, really close to 0. But it's obviously not going to be in the air for 25 seconds. I've never had a baseball be in the air for 25 seconds. So you could also just eliminate that by thinking about what the problem means. Next, we'll identify the range. Once again, the range of the Y values. And these Y values right here, if it's down here, that would mean that it's going inside and under the ground, towards like the center of the earth. And I don't think a baseball ever breaks ground and keeps going and going and going. It's going to stop at the ground. So it's not going to be all real numbers once again. Okay, remember the height is the Y variable. So seconds doesn't measure height. Seconds doesn't measure height. So you really only have one option. And if you check this out, it matches the vertex of what we got in option 12. So, I mean, it all kind of comes back together. Next one, we're going to factor out the greatest common factor. What's in between 12 and 9 is a 3. And when I'm looking at it, they're both negative. So I'm going to take out a negative 3. It's going to leave me with a 4m plus 3. Negative 3 times 4m is negative 12m. Negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. So it's going to be option A. Now, remember, we showed you in class how you can check this. Type in the original. Type in what you think the answer is. And then graph it. If the first one is kind of like your vein, and the second one should be the blood filling the vein. If it fills the vein, which it did, you're exactly right. Next one, they all end with a 0 or 5, so therefore you can take a 5 out. That was the trick with 5s. So 5 times what gives you 10? 2a cubed. 5 times what gives you negative 10? Negative 2a squared. And 5 times what gives you negative 5? Negative 1. If you check it, 5 times 2 is 10a cubed. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10a squared. 5 times negative 1 is negative 5. They don't all have a's, so you can't take out any a's, which is going to be answer choice A. So if we check it once again, we're going to type in the original, which is 10x to the third minus 10x squared minus 5. And our answer, which was 5 parentheses 2x cubed minus 2x squared minus 1, we get this right here. There's the blood. And I think I typed it in the wrong part, but it'll still work. And that one just filled it. So I just didn't type in the blue. But they graphed right on top of each other, so you know you're exactly right. Next one, factor it completely. If you're doing this by hand, you're going to have to use the big X. X squared times 28 is 28x squared. it's going to add up to 11x. So it should multiply to give you this and add to give you that. I'm going to have to find the factors of 28. 28 divided by x in my calculator, and then go to the table. 4, 1, and 28, 2 and 14, 4 and 7. Now, this is a positive product, so therefore they're both negative, both positive. It's a positive sum, so they're both going to be positive. So 4x and 7x multiply to give you 20x squared, and they add to give you 11x. So when I set up my box, x squared goes in the top left, 28 goes in the bottom right. 4x and 7x are my magic pieces that go here, and they add up to 11x right there. Okay, I'm going to take out the greatest common factor. So x comes out of here, 7 comes out of here, x comes out of here, and 4 comes out of that. And now we're going to check it. X times x is x squared, x times 4 is 4x, x times 7 is 7x, 7 times 4 is 28. So I get x plus 4, x plus 7, which is answer choice D. Same thing as before, we're going to type in both the answer and the original question. And when I graph it, I get this nice, pretty vein. And here's the blood pumping through. And there it is. So I know I'm right. Next one, we're going to do the big X. 7 times 21 is 147b squared. We hope it adds up to 52b. So I have no idea what the factors are of that. So I'm going to go right here and type in 147 divided by x. And go to my table. And it looks like I got 1 and 47. 1 and 147. And it looks like I also got 3 and 49. And I also got 7 and 21. And I also got, well, 21 and 7, but that was already on there. So we just kind of circled back around. Now they have to add up, multiply to a positive number, so they're both positive or both negative, and they got to add up to positive numbers, so they're both going to be positive. So we've got 3b and 49b. So when I set up my box, 7b squared goes in the top left corner, 21 goes in the bottom right. I got 3b and 49b. Take out the greatest common factor. Here it's a b, here it's a 7, here it's a 7b, and here it is a 3b, or just 3. Okay, let's check it. B times 7b is 7b squared. 7 times 7b is 49b. 7 times 3 is 21. B times 3 is 3b. So my answer here should be 7b plus 3 times b plus 7, which is answer choice D right there. Same thing as before, you can check it. You've got the original, which is 7x squared plus 52x plus 21, and the new one, which is 7x plus 3 times x plus 7. Graph it. There's the vein. And then let's make sure the blood goes through it. It does, so you got the exact right same answer. So we're going to go on to number 19. Number 19, they're all divisible by 5 because they all ended with a 0 or 5. So if I take out a 5, left with x squared minus 3x minus 10. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15x. 5 times negative 10 is negative 50. And now we do the big X just like we did last time. X times negative 10 is negative 10x squared. You only use this piece. Adds up to 3x. Factors of 10 are 1 and 10, 2 and 5. It's a negative product, so one's positive and one's negative. It's a negative sum, so therefore the bigger number is going to be negative. Those add up to negative 3x. So you have 2x minus 5x will give you that negative 3x. Multiply give you this, add to give you that. Set up the box. First piece is x squared, negative 10, and my x gave me the 2x and the negative 5x. Take out the greatest common factor. Here, it's x. Here, it's negative 5, so we want that to be positive. Here, it's x, and here, it's positive 2. X times x is x squared, x times 2 is 2x, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. So we have x plus 2 times x minus 5. However, we originally took out this 5, so you can't forget that 5 when you write your answer. So it should be answer choice B. Okay, Same thing, you can check it with the blood squirting. I would check that before you moved on, because if you picked A, you'd quickly find out you dropped the 5. Next one, 4x squared minus 9. It's a binomial, and particularly they're both perfect squares and there's a minus sign. So we know one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. Square root of 4x squared is 2x. Square root of 9 is 3. And same thing as before, you can just check it by doing the blood squirting stuff. Now this one's a little bit different because it's a 50. And I like the binomial part, but I don't know the square root of 50. And I would find out that it's actually not a perfect square. So if you have this issue, I would look for greatest common factor. They're both even, so we can take out a 2, which leaves us 25b squared minus 1. Okay, so looking at this right here, we know we have 2, and we should hopefully have 2 parentheses. All of our answers have 2 parentheses. Square root of 25b squared is 5b. Square root of 1 is 1. We're going to make 1 positive, 1 negative. Let's give this option D. And once again, you can do the blood squirting if you want to. Okay, now these down here, you can't actually do the blood squirting because you only have half the answer. You don't have equivalent equations, okay? So you're going to have to know how to factor for especially these two on your test. So we have y equals x squared minus 5x. We're going to make my big X. 6 times x squared is 6x squared. The middle number is negative 5x. I'm going to find the factors of 6, which are 1 and 6, 2 and 3. Positive product, so they're both positive, both negative. Negative sum, so the bigger one is going to be negative. Okay? Or they're both negative, sorry. So I'm going to focus on this one right here, which is negative 2x and negative 3x. They multiply to give me 6x squared, and they add to give me negative 5x. So I'm going to set up my box or my window. First term is x squared. Last term is a positive 6. And these two pieces are from the big X. So negative 2x and negative 3x. Take out the greatest common factor. I have x, negative 3, x, negative 2. And let's check it. X times x is x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. So I'm good. And which one of those is an answer choice here? I don't see anything with 3, but I do see an x minus 2 right there. So once again, it's only going to give you half the answer for that one. So you've got to know how to factor it in that case. If you had issues, you could always graph it. X squared minus 5x plus 6, and you can graph it. And maybe you can make the connection that since it's crossing right there at 2, 0, that 2 should be a huge clue to you. But I would just say, rather than doing all of that, you're going to be safe if you know how to factor it. This one is the same thing as number 18. It was a mistake. So see number 18 if you need help with number 23. It was already worked out on number 18.